All right, let's talk about the new teammate joining your Agile sprints. This one? Well, it never takes a coffee break, and it might just be your most valuable player yet. Today, we're diving into the world of the Agile AI Copilot.
So I want you to imagine this for a second. You walk into your daily stand-up, right? But instead of everyone scrambling to remember their updates, your AI teammate chimes in and says something like, "Hey, just so you know, Jake seems to be hitting a wall on the authentication module. And by the way, a ton of customer feedback just came in suggesting we really need to prioritize mobile responsiveness."
Sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, right? Well, it's not. Not anymore. This is the reality for a growing number of AI-augmented teams, and it's happening right now. So that brings us to the big question. What does this new teammate, what does it actually do?
And to really get our heads around that, we've got to understand what makes an AI copilot so different from the software we're all used to. I mean, this isn't just another tool you click on. We're talking about a massive shift from a passive instrument to a genuinely active partner in your day-to-day work.
And that right there is the key difference. An AI copilot isn't just sitting there, waiting for you to type in a command. Nope. It's actively participating. It's learning from everything, your code, your team's chat logs, your project docs, and then it proactively comes to you with suggestions. It's not a hammer, it's a collaborator.
So you can really see the breakdown here. Your conventional tools, they're totally passive. They just wait for you to tell them what to do. But an AI copilot, it's proactive. It's learning from the whole context of your project to surface things you might not have seen. The bottom line is pretty simple. You operate a tool, but you collaborate with a partner.
Okay, so that's the big idea, the concept. But what does this look like in the real world, day to day? Let's break it down and look at how this AI teammate can specifically help each person on a typical Agile team.
All right, first up, the Scrum Master. Their whole job is to keep the team running smoothly and clear out any roadblocks. The AI Copilot basically becomes their intelligence layer. It gives them this kind of superpower to spot problems, sometimes before anyone even knows they are a problem.
So how does that actually work? Well, for starters, the AI can automatically prep meeting agendas just by analyzing the team's progress. That alone saves a ton of time. But it gets cooler. It can analyze the team's conversations in real time and flag if a discussion is going in circles, or even gauge the overall team morale based on communication patterns. This completely changes the game for the Scrum Master. They go from just facilitating meetings to truly orchestrating the team's success.
And look, this isn't just some theory. This is real-world stuff. Take Spotify, for example. They started using AI to proactively spot roadblocks, and get this, they cut the time it took to resolve them by a staggering 45%. I mean, that is a massive boost in efficiency.
Okay, let's move on to the product owner. This is the person whose entire world revolves around maximizing the value the team is delivering. And what's their biggest headache? It's always trying to figure out what to build next when you have a backlog with 100 or 1,000 different possibilities.
This is where the AI Copilot becomes a game changer. It helps them cut through all that noise. It can sift through mountains of customer feedback, analyze usage data, and even track market trends to suggest what the top priorities should be. It can even take raw, messy customer comments and turn them into perfectly structured user stories. That frees up the product owner to focus on the big picture, the strategy, instead of getting bogged down in admin work.
And the impact, it's huge. Just look at Airbnb. They used AI to comb through all their user feedback and generate ideas for new features that were actually backed by data. And the result? A 38% jump in the success rate of those new features. Think about that. They're making much smarter bets on what to build, simply because those bets are informed by real data, not just gut feelings.
All right, now let's talk about the people actually writing the code, the developers. For them, AI copilots are quickly becoming, indispensable. It's like having a true partner right there in the code editor with you, and it's dramatically speeding up the entire development process.
I mean, just think about it. You've got tools like GitHub Copilot now that can write an entire function for you based on a single comment. It's like having an automated code reviewer looking over your shoulder, catching bugs and security flaws the second you write them. By taking over all that grunt work, like writing documentation and generating test cases, it frees up developers to focus on what they do best, solving the really complex creative problems. Their role starts to shift from just being a coder to being more of a problem architect.
So we've seen how this helps individuals, but what happens when you bring it all together? What's the impact on the entire team?
To see that, let's walk through a case study of a company called TechFin Solutions and watch how an AI teammate completely transformed one of their sprints.
So, here's the situation. TechFin Solutions was struggling. Their sprint planning meetings were a mess, and they had a really hard time prioritizing what to work on. So, they decided to bring in an AI Copilot. They fed it all of their historical data, had it assess the team's capacity in real time, and used it to build a predictive engine for ranking their backlog.
Now, what's really important here is that they didn't just flip a switch and hope for the best. It was a gradual, deliberate process. They started by just integrating the data. Then, they spent a couple of weeks just calibrating the AI's suggestions, kind of teaching it. Only after that did they make it a core part of their workflow. That careful, step-by-step adoption was absolutely key to their success.
And the results? Honestly, they were dramatic. Just look at this jump on the screen. Their sprint success rate, which is basically how often they deliver what they promise, it shot up from 68% all the way to 84%. That shows you that the AI's ability to help them plan better and spot risks had a direct, measurable impact on how well they performed.
And if that wasn't enough, they also cut the time they spent in those, sometimes painful sprint planning meetings by 30%. Why? Because the AI did all the heavy lifting beforehand. The team could walk in, and instead of spending an hour just gathering information, they could focus immediately on making smart, high-quality decisions. Okay, so this all sounds amazing, almost like a magic bullet. But, and this is a really important but, it comes with a critical warning. For any of this to work, you absolutely have to remember who's in charge. This is about augmentation, not full automation, and that means you have to set very clear boundaries. Just remember the name. It's a co-pilot, not the pilot. It should never be the one making the final strategic call. It can't replace genuine human creativity and intuition. And maybe most importantly, accountability, that always stays with the human team. The AI gives you the data, the analysis, but the humans provide the judgment. Period. So if you're thinking about this for your own team, how do you get started responsibly? Well, the best approach seems to follow 3 really clear steps. First, start small. Pilot it with some low-risk tasks. Second, train your team. Make sure everyone understands what the AI can do, and, just as importantly, what it can't do. And third, from day one, build in ethical safeguards. That means actively monitoring for bias and always keeping a human in the loop for the big decisions.
So where is all of this heading? It's not an exaggeration to say we are right at the dawn of a completely new era of collaboration. We're watching as these intelligent systems become actual integral members of our teams, and that is going to fundamentally change the nature of teamwork as we know it. And that really brings us to the single most important takeaway from all of this. The goal here isn't to automate people out of a job, it's to augment them. The teams that are truly succeeding with this are the ones using AI to magnify their own human strengths, freeing themselves up to do the deep, creative, innovative work that really matters. So we'll leave you with this one final thought to chew on. Your next great teammate might not be human. It might just be an algorithm. That is a massive shift in how we think about work, about teams, about collaboration. And really, the only question left to ask is your team ready for that?